I probably won't be able to do this either. Buddy, I worked at the FBI for years, but never in kidnappings. Mostly I fished out drug dealers, but I also went after deep state corruption. I lacked some of the theoretical training, but I watch a lot of detective shows and thrillers. This case may be most similar to Zodiac or Seven. I just hope we're not dealing with the disappeared. Not really, no. Not like Zodiac or Seven. Those are about serial killers, right? This person was kidnapped and is being ransomed. It's more like The Big Lebowski. To solve this riddle, we'll need a tough guy with a gun, probably a few hackers, and a plucky dame with a deductive mind. At least that's what would work in the movies. Although sometimes it's down to the cool-headed hostage negotiators to save the hostages. So do we have the right people for this job? Maybe we do. So it's saying hackers or a plucky dame with a deductive mind. Persuasion. Alta. Let's try Andre. Persuasion. Probably investigation, though. And neither of them have that. Let's try Sasha, though. A little mysticism, a little sexual innuendo, a little passive aggression. From the tone of the writing, I'd say the kidnapper is a woman. And as a child, she had an intimate relationship with her father. She's single, early 30s. He's a profiler now. She's single, early 30s, watches anime in the evenings. Spaces before punctuation indicate that she doesn't network much. This one's a loner. Lock of hair smells like paprika. Perhaps our demoness likes to eat chips while she's terrorizing her victims. Well, I've drawn you a pretty clear psychological profile. What are we going to do with it? Honey, I'm sorry to interfere. I know Tony wants what's best, but please don't do anything stupid. The perpetrator is clearly a man and clearly not in his right mind. The important thing... Tony's entirely wrong. The important thing is to figure out who the bastard is and where he's holding Basil. Please don't do anything hasty. If anything happened to Basil, I'd never be able to forgive myself. Okay. Track down who owns the Bitcoin wallet. Run a backtrace on the kidnapper's message tally. Sasha has negotiate with the perpetrator over the phone. Ask the kidnappers to put Basil out of his misery. Interesting. Do we want to get Basil back? Let's try backtrace. Chief, the kidnapper used a temporary email account, so there's no way to find out the sender's name. We could try to send an email and reply. Maybe we should try another option? Should we negotiate? Everyone look away! Sir, I always knew you were a tough guy. After my suggestion, the kidnapper went quiet for a while, and then he reappeared and launched into a tirade. To paraphrase, he said you were an obnoxious man, a worthless president, and that Ellie was a disgusting, greedy bitch. If anything, boss, I strongly disagree with him. Oh yeah, Basil's already been released. Your cunning plan to demoralize the kidnapper worked. Yeah! And the trembling voice that went with his crying eyes seemed very reminiscent of the voice on the phone. It wasn't hard to guess the jerk had just kidnapped himself. Oh. Honey, I'm speechless. If we can't even trust our own family, what about everyone else? That did not occur to me. I'll teach that little shit to dance with me. No more allowed. No more allowance. Basil can go back to work at Fat Joe's. Maybe this time he'll learn something. Buddy, thank God we got to this idiot before the reporters got to him. Man, what a cousin. I think we ought to teach Basil a lesson. Ellie says he's had enough. Given the shame and the fraud charges, his mother gave him a good lashing. But I think we should get a little paycheck of our own. Or payback of our own. Your wife will still be paying for the asshole's lawyer, you can bet on that. Let's show Basil what happens to people who try pulling one over you and your family. What do you say? Yeah, let's teach him a lesson. That's great, buddy. I'm sure you know how best to set Basil straight. I won't bore you with my advice. Oh, I have no one left. Forget it. Oh. Do I want to do this? I should have just moved on. Tell all articles, maybe? Oh, conducting journalistic investigation. That's good. Let's bring Troy in. Recommend a mental institution to Basil. Mr. President, I contacted Basil and we discussed the situation. I told him all the joys of being in a mental institution. Good food, cheerful staff, friendly roommates. But he didn't appreciate my encouragement and said he wasn't interested in that option. Do you have any other ideas? Okay, forget it. This costing me too much. Buddy, the kid's got a conscience, though. He went to work at Fat Joe's. Sis will pay for his own lawyer and won't take any more money from Ellie. Holy shit. The First Lady's cousin was spotted at Fat Joe's remarkably. He wasn't just eating lunch there, but standing in a fat suit and handing out Joe flags to the kids passing by. It's nice to see the relatives of the nation's top officials putting in an honest day's work. Instead of sunbathing by a pool bought with taxpayer money, the First Lady's cousin is now known to have staged his own kidnapping and demanding a huge ransom. The guarantors of our security allowed this to go on in their own family. What might our country look even a year from now? That was a really awful event. Alfred Marino, head of genealogical sciences. Mr. President, I have mapped out your family tree showing 10 generations. There were farmers, a blacksmith, and even a grocery store owner. That's what I told the press. There's a great variety of people in our president's family tree. From farmers to storekeepers. That's probably why he has such a good grasp of the problems facing each and every American, they added. Mr. President, I did warn you, my colleagues noticed me working extra long hours and wrote about it on their social media. The scandal did not spread too far, but you're still viewed with suspicion. This is awful, guys. We're taking a beating here. Matthew Lee Garden, Secretary of Transportation. Mr. President, the mayor of Great Falls has been at odds with the state government, who just haven't gotten around to fixing up the pathway to his house. They got rid of the old asphalt and covered it with crushed stone and then left it. Although I can see where they're coming from, considering the only resident in that area of Great Falls is the 70-year-old mayor himself. Laying 3 kilometers of asphalt for just one resident is certainly madness, but a video was recently posted online showing the mayor sadly hobbling along his crooked road. And I got hundreds of comments demanding the poor old man get help. Should we allocate some funds from the federal budget? Sure. Julian Guillard, Secretary of State. Sir, since Camero was voted in for 4th term in Guatemala, the country is starting to look like North Korea. They've recently introduced a heavy duty on crossing the border. So now only the very richest, who are basically the president's inner circle, can cross it. Guatemala is gradually closing itself off from the world. Perhaps we, as democracy's greatest supporters, should intervene? We could restore Guatemala's membership to the international organizations if it agrees to reintroduce free foreign travel. Sure. Buddy, you know that I'm constantly breaking my back just to make a better life for everybody. Sure, stuff happens, but I certainly don't deserve for some journalist to snicker when I say the word conscience on the Dirty Politics talk show. It makes me furious when I think of his idiot face. He's not doing himself any favors. I need to get my own back and set up a live debate. What? I need to get my own what back? Camera, TV station? What? No. I don't know what you're asking. Fuck. Hey, buddy, I wasn't happy about the fact that we put the brakes on the snickering journalist issue. Today, that hack asked me live on TV how much the president's conscience is worth. My face went so purple with rage that the press thought I was ashamed. If I'm honest, the more I talk to these guys, the more I want to give up and retire to Nebraska to breed bees. All these jobs driving me nuts, sir. I can't keep working 7 days a week. Yeah. Ugh. Was such a disaster, guys. Oh, and I can't do those. I have to send these 3 on vacation. Settle a conflict. Gain more public support. If I get to 75. I'm not gonna be able to do that. I'll protect the environment. I can't click on it. Okay. I'm just going to move on to the next month, I guess. I'm not going to be able to do these 2. Shay, maybe... I'm not going to pay Joe. Buddy, the drugs keep steadily pouring across the Mexican border. As for Pedro Longshanks, the man beat Stonefist world record. Man beat Stonefist world record and hasn't visited the arcade since. This could probably be really bad. Buddy, haven't you read the news yet? Charlie Tufik just released an investigation that proves very convincingly that Face changed his identity and fled to a third world country. He also sold out America's secrets for his own benefit. Plus, it turns out the FBI had been probing him on some old corruption charges, so the coward finally ran with his tail between his legs. Now, I know Dew fought like a demon in the Weister case, but nobody had any proof back then. But what does it matter now? Wonder what that means for me. Ratings still going up. Even though they went down for a while there. Okay, money's gradually going up. Stress is okay. Into December. 3.5 million, good. Mr. President, thank you so much for letting me take a breather. I've got my energy back. I'm once again meeting deadlines and I have yet to lash out at someone for no reason at all. I'd probably be having major issues by now, if not for this favor of yours. I'm curious to see what Joe's gonna say. Sir, I had a wonderful vacation. Thank you so much. Hawaii is a great place to make informal acquaintances with various diplomats and attachés. Indeed, I made quite a few contacts we might put to good use. Everybody has trouble sometimes, Mr. President, especially when all your cash goes right up your nose. If things are tough right now, don't worry about the money. I've got a nice stash of blow at home. It'll last me a while. Does that mean I can't use them for the month? Billy Sanders, the head of National Security Federation, says, Mr. President, I must have forgotten to mention that our Susan hates people that wear glasses more than anything. She didn't like your guy either, but she didn't get around to attacking him. I don't think she could be bothered. It's a great pity that you're unable to assist me, but never mind, I'm not giving up that easily. The National Turkey Federation will recover its good name. Wait, what? I thought the idea was to send someone that she hated so that she would attack him. Okay, I don't know. I guess it's just a random result. Yes! Oh, yeah! Clint! Mr. President, a good attorney knows the law, but a smart attorney knows how to get around it. And as it happens, this particular 18th century building was completely restored in 1982, so it is no longer a place of historic interest. My conscience did get slightly pricked when we blew it up, but the shine on the diamond sorted that out. The buyer is happy, and you can collect your share. Yes! Mr. President, after you order Nebraska to fund the completion, it's hard to read these sometimes because I misread some things. There's also a lot of errors. After you order Nebraska to fund the completion of that road for the mayor of Great Falls, the press has called you a truly socially oriented president. But now we are not sure what we are going to do with the dozens of requests for road repairs work we're receiving from the people living in the country's backwaters. Oh yeah, another bonus. Sir, everyone was pretty surprised when you ordered an end to the Guatemalan isolation. But it has worked. Cabrera has lifted the prohibitive duty on travel and has even released several political prisoners. It seems that his desire to make a good impression on the international community is even stronger than his desire to be a tyrant. Anyway, the people of Guatemala are most grateful to you for getting another chance to escape that prison. You definitely deserve a raise, Ollie. Joanna says, the congressional election is over. Are the rumors true? Were some of our representatives only elected because of the president? If so, what is his true goal? The president is supposed to get people from his party elected. He's the leader of his party. Paul Leroy says, everyone is heading to snowy Alaska this year. Washingtonians have been buying up tickets to Alaskan resorts, hoping to spend the holidays in a real winter wonderland rather than the sorry second-rate winter we have here in the capital. Man, I've spent like 40 years in winters, Canadian winters. I would go south. And Ontario says, Merry Christmas, my fellow Americans. Pretty soon, POTUS and I are going to give you the most wonderful Christmas present of all, a new and improved Constitution. Sir, I recently lost a lot of money in cards, but I always pay back debts, even if I have to take on new debts to cover them. Can I borrow $100,000 from you? Pay you back with interest. Sure, Ollie. Thank you, sir. Sir, I lost big again, even bigger than last time. Can you cover me for $1 million? Sure, Ollie. I promise I'll pay you back. Shit. Okay, that might have been the wrong choice. Mr. President, I'd like to thank you for the sensible policy you pursue. Thanks to your stance, our neighbors seem to be willing to talk to us in the language of diplomacy for the first time in history. I hope the peace that comes to the Middle East is there to stay. I am confident I will be able to engage in meaningful dialogue with my neighbors and pursue further cooperation with your administration, Mr. President. Declare disarmament. Wait, does that mean I can't use that info? Honey, I hope you do remember that our employees are entitled to a bonus this month. They did a great job and deserve some encouragement. I already gave that fucker $1 million. Darling, it's likely that the election results are final. The new House of Representatives will convene in January. In the meantime, if you still have a chance to get someone on your side, make sure you take it. It's your last chance, but if you've already done all you can, just be patient and wait until next month. Solange is back. Mr. President, do you know that what I do in the evenings when the people's work is done? I read Enlightenment philosophy, Rousseau, Locke, and others. Believe me, for a neophyte, I know more than enough. What else should I be doing? Don't say another word. I understand everything. Here's a small startup fee of $150,000. Will you accept it? Yes. Thank you, Monsieur President. Let this be our little secret. I'll wait for a sign. We're gonna get murdered by the actual secret society or something. Ashley Marsh Dahl, Assistant U.S. Attorney. Mr. President, this year our prisons are filled with thousands of new inmates. The streets are safer, but state budgets are empty. We simply don't have anything to feed all these petty thieves and drug addicts. I reckon we need to declare an amnesty for some of them. They won't do anything too bad. To win the public's favor, we could dress it up as a wonderful gift from Santa at Christmas. What do you think? Sure. Clara Lawrence, chairman of the Texas Mother Society. Mr. President, they say mothers consider every child to be precious. The state should feel the same way. In third world countries, thousands of orphans wistfully watch tales about an American Christmas, hoping that one day they'll get a fairy godmother in their lives, or a president godfather, who could allocate budget funds to bring at least a dozen kids to the States for Christmas. I'm sure the public would also appreciate such generosity. Would you like to be such a president? Yes. Wolfgang Stoffel, science advisor. Sir, Lucius Ashe's novels are called prophetic horrors. They deal with real tragedies. The first about the nightclub fire. The second about the airline crash. The thing is that they were written before the actual events occurred. Now Ashes is finishing a new book. It will be published just in time for the holiday to tell a story about a terrorist attack at the Chicago Christmas Fair. The intelligence services are checking on Ashes and trying to find a logical explanation for the phenomenon, but to no avail. Should we double check and pay the author to rewrite the ending of his story? What? Sure. This totally wasn't worth it. Mr. President, prison guards dressed as Santa. Oh no, this is the prisoners. Okay, Mr. President, prison guards dressed as Santa released 500 inmates at Christmas. We expected a spike in crime, but instead we received thank you letters from the mothers who got to spend the holiday with their children. That was almost as enjoyable as calculating how much we would get to save in budget funds. Sir, Mr. Lucius Ashes, the author of the prophetic horrors, was very surprised when we offered him money to change the ending of A Scary Christmas. He said we needed to believe less in marketing stories and that all coincidences with real stories were not coincidental. But I don't believe in coincidences, so I gave him the money after all. He accepted it and promised that the Christmas fair in his book would go smoothly. I hope it will. Mr. President, I simply can't put into words how I felt when one of the orphans that we brought over for Christmas from Eastern Europe got lost. I searched every nook and cranny and garbage container with the police. We found the kid in the park. He decided to hide from his group there when he realized that he wasn't going to be staying in America. I almost burst out crying myself when he was put on a plane home in tears. And the press, who took endless pictures of the unfortunate boy, really made me emotional. My friend, this Viardo is really getting on my nerves. She's totally crazy. Who even believes in the Illuminati and the Zionists nowadays? That outdated theory of world government is so 20th century. But since Madame President is so eager to join the lodge, I guess we could take advantage of the situation and make some money? I just thought of something mystical and enchanting, my friend. Presidential initiation, train the clerks, settle a conflict, receive an inheritance. Crush separatists. I gotta do the presidential initiation. Oh, I thought this was going to be... Wait. Introduce the head of France to a phony secret organization. Yeah, this is what I wanted to do. My friend, if we want to get more than a couple thousand for fake membership fees from Viardo, we'll need to put on a real show. Let's induct her into the society and then ask her to put a hefty sum in our coffers. The crazy lady has obviously read a lot of literature on the subject. Before she joins the world government, she'll expect a quest in the spirit of the Hollywood blockbuster Heaven and Hell. So simply inviting her to a party and presenting her with an Illuminati patch won't be enough. Strike while the iron is hot. We've got to induct her into a non-existent secret society before someone else does. We're not going to have a lot of time to prepare, so we better use someone who can think on their feet and improvise. Convince Solange Viardo to attend the secret meeting. Conduct Solange Viardo's initiation into the Illuminati Society. So it's got to be someone who's good at convincing. Maybe Sasha, persuasion. Joe, deception. Joe and Sasha, maybe? Or Clint. Let's try Joe and Sasha, so we'll give them passports. so much money. Do I still have that? Oh yeah, I can. Okay, the Project Colossus. If I need it. Train the clerks. Improve digital literacy in the White House. Let's do that. Frida Patricky. Specialist in the Center for National Computer Security. Sir, last year we only had problems with leaks in the White House, but this year they spread all over America. You can't plug a hole in this boat without 2 or more showing up next. The latest data breach involved the account of a Minnesota administration clerk who was working remotely, but couldn't come up with a better password for her home PC than 1234. The hackers got in and gained access to civil servants' personal files and dumped the worst of their dirty laundry on WikiLeaks. We fired the helpless woman, but something must be done about cybersecurity. Right now, any script kiddie can hack the account of a government official and find something that should be kept secret from the general public. I've started working on a bill meant to stop digital leaks. Can you spare an experienced hacker who can create a unified set of rules for information security? Let's send Ollie because Andrej has a password. Settle conflict. Enhance the image of American diplomats. A few skilled PR experts. Right. We're going to wait on that because it's not going to happen right away. I don't have anything to help these people out. I think we're good on that. I think we're just going to go to the next month.